What is up, traders? Welcome back to the channel. Grab your coffees, grab a chair, sit back and relax as we're going to attack the market today. Let's see what we can find. Bonk, man, that thing was out of control, ain't it? Yesterday it went up almost 30%. We're going to see what it wants to do today. We got Bitcoin dominance literally taking a fat dump. It almost looks like a bear market. Let me pull that chart up real fast. Right there it is. That's your dominance. What happened to the watermark? There we go. Yeah, it's looking pretty big. Big move down here. There's an old gap back here. Obviously that gap has been filled. This isn't a tradable asset, so it's not a tradable gap anyways. I just marked it because that seems to be where dominance found a near-term top. Took it a little bit, but once it came out of that zone, I mean, it's been pretty one-sided ever since. So everybody that's looking for alt season, I mean, you're in it. I don't know how big of an alt season it'll be, but clearly you're in it, right? Dominance goes down, alts seem to fly. You got your move higher here on Pepe. It's a meme token. We can get rid of this fib as it's no longer useful. Go away. Bohm was rocking and rolling today. It was up at one point today, almost 15%. Fartcoin had a phenomenal breakout yesterday. Damn it. I did get stopped out. I was long from down here yesterday morning, and I was looking for multiple 4-hour candles higher. Like, watch yesterday's live stream. Right at the beginning of the show, I'm talking about how I want to be in that for that. And we got it yesterday, but Donald Trump came out and said he was going to fire Powell, and then that caused a spike on the VIX all the way up to almost $20, which was a gap fill that we were also watching for. Got it. Went up to about half or midpoint gap fill, and it instantly rejected. So when that wick was thrown down there on Farcoin, it stopped me out. Yep, that sucks. That always sucks. But I got news for you. It's going to happen to you. If you trade in the financial markets, guys, your stops are going to get triggered. It's life. We deal with it. We okay with it. We'll catch it on the next one. Sorry, I wasn't really ready, but the time got away from me. So how's everybody doing this morning? Hopefully everybody's okay. Let's go look at Bonk. As you can see, this thing is absolutely rocking and rolling, or it was rocking and rolling to the upside here. This is a long-term level. Go look at the monthly over here. You can see that it's actually going to be the high of the year. So you just made a fresh yearly high yesterday, or during the Asian session, London session. Let's go see. 2 o'clock. So you made a fresh yearly high at the London Open, and you've been rolling over ever since. You're not rolling down with momentum, or you're not rolling over with momentum, though. It's barely rolling over. It's very choppy, very hard to trade, but this thing moves. It moves a lot. So be careful if you're looking for the short. There's an old 2-week open here. The reason I have that pulled up is because there was an intraday, like very small time frame wicks over here. And I was looking for a larger level to coincide with these 2 wicks. You can see it acted as resistance there. Broke out here. Came back in for a support check there. Came down to it here, and this is where I took profits. I do have a short opened. I took the short up in here. It hasn't gone anywhere, but it moved so much. I made $427 on the profit. I took profits here because I was anticipating a potential bounce, and boom, it tagged it, took me out of the trade, and bounced. It's starting to try to roll over now. Volume is bearish on the 5-minute, 1-minute, and 30-second chart. That's cumulative volume delta down there. It has bottomed, though. It bottomed here at that old 2-week open, like to perfection. Let's see if we got any volume spike on time here. Of course we did. But we even got a volume spike on time. and it got a little bit of a bounce, but we'll see what it does. If Bitcoin dominance continues to roll over, make sure you guys, if you short these things, these high flyers, that you are quick to take profits. I can't stress that enough. There's a simple reason for it. I mean, we don't usually see downside continuation from these trades. You know what I mean? The best trade is to look to buy support, like I did on Fartcoin yesterday, as you can stay in those longer. But there is the profits that I've already realized this morning. This is similar to what I did yesterday on Fartcoin. I took the trade before the live stream. I can't help it if the trade sets up before the live stream, but I took the trade and made a couple $100 and took profits, and was sitting pretty on that one as well, and got wicked out, right? And I have a near-term trade on, or a short trade on Pingu as well. Pingu was a better setup. Right here, you can see there's my short entry. Not quite a top tick, but almost. It's basically not gone anywhere. And you can see they move. They move really good. I mean, $100 on Bonk, 124 on Pingu. These are unrealized gains here. That $225 could go bye-bye if we get an up spike. Both of these things are trading very, very similar to one another, as they're kind of related, I guess. I wouldn't be shorting it down here, not Bonk, because you're under the value area low. You pull that up. Maybe. I'm going to try to pull that up. There we go. So you can see your blue line. This is your value area low. You've already made a low of day down here earlier in the session before the London session. So we made that daily low in Asia, bounced up, made a fresh yearly high, and then rolled over in London. So Asia sold it, and then it was bought up on the lows, and then London sold it at the fresh yearly high. So I don't know if you're going to see downside continuation, especially if dominance remains weak today. So you can see that shorting it down here would be kind of dangerous. All right, you got a couple areas of potential support. You've got the value area low. Bitcoin is down on the day. Bitcoin is down 0.6%. Got some sort of a broadening wedge formation here that you broke down out of. There's the bell. Oh, our Pepsi long has played out as Pepsi gapped up on good earnings. So that trade is in the money. We paid $400 for the trade. I'm about to sell it for $1,000 or $950. Not bad. Doubled my money. We sat in it for a couple weeks, and here we are. We made it. We can get rid of it. That's a good looking trade, man. We bought that down here after we did this is a liquidation break strategy. We set a fresh monthly low in June, and we bought it the next day. And it went up pretty fast right off the bat. This happened during the week of 4th of July is when we bought it. There was a volume spike the Friday previous to the holiday week, and we thought that a lot of people were buying it. So we anticipated a liquidation break. We got the liquidation and then the break to the upside. Our primary target or first target would have been here. And this red line down here was what we were risking if we broke down. All right. We would have risked $200 for potential. Oh, we were risking $100 for a potential to make 200. And then if we got all the way up to here, which would have put us in the money, well, then it would have been a much bigger than $200. Like I said, the current profit on this trade right now is $637. Not freaking bad. That's on one contract. One contract. Here are I'll show you that really here, over here. Boom. So there's your Pepsi trade right there. P&L open is 680. And then we also got a bounce on the D Pro. I bought this with 50 shares, small account. Bought it 50 shares. Let's go look at D Pro. Boom. I paid $2.25 for it. And it's up to 620 today. So a couple swing trades that we've been sitting in, paying off today. You can exit both of those. You know what I mean? You can't ask for more than double your money. So when you get double your money, it's a pretty good idea to take it when you got it, right? All right, so let's go find something to take a trade today. So we're going to pull up the 30-minute chart here. I'm going to throw in on my intraday moving averages. This is something that I recently just started using. Didn't really use them as much in the past, but here I'll show you the setup that I took on Penguin. Essentially, I posted this in the Discord as well as on Twitter. So if you don't have access to the Discord, you can get some trade setups on Twitter if you follow me over there for free. If you want to support my work, then obviously you can follow me on Patreon and get access to the Discord. But I was looking to see if this was going to be a trap, a bull trap, because you can see where you set a near-term resistance here. Actually, this would have been the resistance, and then this would have been a breakout. This candle, this one close was higher than this close. So that's a breakout. You retested, created an intraday support, and ripped, closed above this resistance as well as your 100 exponential moving average. So I wanted to see if this was a trap. So I literally sold this wick, like 0.03167. That's where I took my short when price was trading back under that wick high. So I took the short, used the high of day as my stop, and it's working out now. That's all I did. I wasn't predicting that price was going to make a trap. I was taking an entry just in case it wanted to, right? We don't predict. We can't predict. There's no way we can predict what price will do. It's too chaotic. There's too much nuance to it. But you can see the chart and you can take good trades. If I get stopped out, it's okay. I'm not going to lose a lot. My stop is so close to my entry. It's literally right on it almost. This is a 5-minute chart. Like, yeah. So there was that hourly swing high that I was watching. And when price traded back under it, I just hit the sell button. Right? So we'll see if this can get a move lower. I don't want to jump out of it just yet. We'll see if it can get lower because we're working with a little bit of profits already on the day. So we don't have to sweat it too bad. All right, but we're not going to short this one because it's already moving. But we want to look for something that isn't moving yet and that isn't as bullish, because we don't necessarily, well, if we get this, if this starts to move higher with a pretty good amount of volatility or momentum, then some of these shorts will work out. Bohm is up 6% on the day. So just to get back the open would give you a pretty decent target on that. This breakout candle here is the midpoint of it, is what's currently trying to hold as support. I would probably wait for a resistance test for the short. I don't like the short breakdowns. Too many times have we seen the breakdown fail, right? Fartcoin is up. This has a lot of bullish momentum. I don't know if I would short it. Plus, you did not get that June high. June high is 1.5450. This high is 4.9. So it's literally, what is that? Like 1/1000th of a penny, but it did not liquidate. So that is a double top. Probably not going to be able to get to that double top on the 32nd. So it's June's high. So, I mean, if you're targeting a liquidation on that double top, then you're going to be looking to be a buyer at support. Risk markets are doing what? Risk markets are moving back up. I mean, it was ridiculous what it did yesterday. We were looking for that, kind of, but it just didn't go low enough for me to get involved on it. I thought we were going to see a little bit lower, but like Trump always does, he comes out, creates havoc in the market, and then backs up on what he said. I saw somebody posted on X literally that he said that he doesn't even know who would have. He don't like Powell. He thinks Powell's terrible at his job, and he can't imagine who would have put him in the office. Trump is the one that put Powell in there. I don't understand that. This man's going crazy. Bitcoin finding near-term support at the value area low. I don't know if it's going to hold. But here's your value area low on Bitcoin. You have an hourly support there, 30-minute support here. We wouldn't want to see it go lower than that if it's going to be an up day. VIX is back under 1721. That is the yearly opening range. You closed back under it yesterday after spiking up and filling the gap. We wanted to buy calls on the risk market if we got a midpoint gap fill on this, but it happened so quick. I wanted to see resistance come in, right? It didn't. It went up there and rolled over. So that's not resistance, that's a spike. It's a spike up and a spike back down. It's impossible. I mean, it's not impossible to catch it. We were looking for it, right? We could have bought calls when we were trading up in here, but I didn't because it was so volatile. I never want to jump in front of that momentum, but I should have. Clearly, I should have. So I would expect risk markets to basically trend higher now. That was your pullback. We've only had 2 pullbacks since we put the lows in April. And when I say pullbacks, I mean pullbacks to the bottom of the expected range lows. So I put in this every week. I get the expected move, the market maker move on Thinkorswim, Charles Schwab. It's basically just what the options market is pricing in, right? So I get the high and the low of that every week. And then in a bull market, I look to be a buyer. Well, you can see you tag the low edge of the expected move here on Monday in April 1, and that's it. You haven't, 2 right here. There's the second time we tagged it. But every other week, it's come short. Right here was the closest you got to it. Every other week, it's come short. So you nailed it there. This week, you never even got under unchanged. Never got under unchanged. Barely got under unchanged. Same go. I mean, you want to be buying pullbacks in an uptrend. You want to be buying pullbacks in an uptrend. I mean, it tagged that to perfection. So if you take out this candle's high, you could see it run. Like it could run. This is creating an ascending wedge, kind of. I mean, that wick kind of puts a hurting on that. But if you put a trend line up there, you're going to see that it is an ascending wedge. And people do typically look for those to break out to the downside. But I mean, it's a daily time frame. I would be more worried about that if it was a weekly and there was like 6 weeks of it doing that. I'm not too concerned about it right now. And finally, the last trade we're in is Intel. We're not getting anything out of that. We're up $30 on that one. I don't remember when we bought it, but we had to buy it in here, right? Earnings is coming up on that. I'm not exactly sure how far. We bought out to January, so we gave this plenty of time to move. We're only in August. So you got earnings coming up. As long as everything stays bullish, as long as the chip sector does okay, I'm going to hold this just to see what happens with it. You could potentially be a buyer on it now. You're pulling back again. I would say that you lost the midpoint of this breakout candle. I mean, we don't have to say it. We can objectively test to see if we did or not, right? And we did. You closed 2 days below the midpoint of that breakout candle. I typically don't want to see that in an uptrend. I want that area to hold as support. So maybe watch this candle's close. Maybe look for entries around there. Have a very tight stop on this thing. It doesn't move fast, so it's easy to mitigate risk, but you can get sizable gaps. You can get sizable gaps, so be careful. Just mitigate your risk, guys. Don't try to get rich on one trade. It's about getting consistent wins over time. That's what makes you rich. How's everybody doing? Hopefully everybody's having a very good day. Let's go look at BT for jewelry affairs, and then we'll go look for a trade. BT looks okay. I mean, it's $3.95. It's under $5, so nobody owns it. It does look like it's breaking out. I think the last time we checked on this, it wasn't doing so good. It looks like it's finally getting some of that Bitcoin sympathy. The way I feel about these things is, as long as Bitcoin is doing good, this should do good. It should. I don't know that it will, but it should. And Bitcoin is still doing good. It's holding daily support as we speak right now. But not only are you testing the value area low for the volume profile in the daily range, you're also testing daily support. Now, it's going to be a difficult trade to take it right here, because you got to get your stop under the low of day, which is going to be right there. And you do have downside momentum for now. So it's going to be a difficult trade. You could wait until the momentum subsides. Where's the 930 open? And since the 930 open is 117,940-ish, here, I'll give you the exact price. 117,946 spot 33. You could arguably wait until you start trading above that. You're under the daily VWAP, so the sellers already have the momentum. Or not the momentum, but they have the pressure. Like, they're putting pressure on the market. So it's going to be difficult to time it or to get it just perfect, but you can watch it. It is currently trying to make a fresh daily low. So if you start to see momentum under those lows, you don't necessarily want to be a buyer, right? You start to see candles like this, then you don't want to step in front of that and be a buyer. You need to wait for it to set a higher low, or it needs to form some sort of support. And you can watch that on a 30-second, 1-minute chart. Essentially, you're looking at the lowest closing candle, which in this scenario is right here. You don't want to see any lower closes than that. If you do, then you got to be patient. You just sit on your hands and you wait until that sets a low and a lower close and then bounces. Then you will watch that lowest close. If you start to get too far away, then obviously daily support isn't what they're buying, right? Cumulative volume delta is structured bearish. You're under the zero line. You need to see buyers come in here. You need to see this kind of volume. Let's go look at volume by time as well. So we're seeing heavier volume, which is normal. It's the New York session open. That's when the volume is. That's the last session of the day where you get intense amounts of volume. It looks like it's holding support for now. Even if it doesn't, it's an easy way to manage risk, right? You could simply buy it now and throw a stop under the low of day. Only risk like 25, a quarter of a percent. If your risk unit is 1%, do 0.25% on the first initial entry. That way you don't take a full 1% loss so quickly. Give it time and room to work, and you'll be better off. We can't predict what it will do in the future. We just have to look at what's going on, with the higher time frames, see what we got. And we don't really see a big breakdown. As long as the VIX is under the 1721, I think Bitcoin could be bullish, right? I mean, it is bullish. You're trading above the monthly VWAP. You're trading above July's volume weighted average price. So the bulls are in control of the monthly candle. The bulls are in control of last week's candle. They're not in control of this week's candle. So this week, the entire week, today's Thursday, it could just be a pullback week. So the trade might not be today. It could be next week. It could be Tuesday or Wednesday next week. Or if we don't make a fresh weekly low, when we close this week out, next week, you could watch the weekly low for a liquidation break. Wait for a fresh weekly low, and then for it to bounce back up inside of this week's range to hit the buy button, stop under the fresh week low. Something like that. Looking for a 3-drive candle formation. Because here's your bullish drive. This would be your pullback. We would be expecting this candle to go up. I would love to see this week tear off to the upside. Right? I would love nothing more than to see this week, the week we're in, close up. But the fact of the matter is it's down on the week. Weekly open is right here. That's also daily supply. So that level is clearly causing issues for Bitcoin once you broke under it here. This was the candle where you broke below, creating the supply candle. And you've been testing it and you've not been able to get any kind of bullish momentum away from it. So the sellers have been hitting it. We got a new daily res, or it's the same candle, hold is actually the resistance candle as well. You got that high before it rolled over. Right here. So they were just selling daily res. That's also going to be your high day close. Your high day close. That's the highest daily close of all time on Bitcoin. Right? We are still trading. Are we trading above the high month close? We are way above the high month close. And your high week close will be last week. So this week could just be a pullback week. Let's go look for something. I didn't really find anything. Let's go look though real fast before we get too late in the day here. If you don't want to be a buyer on Bitcoin, right? So Pepe went down, got real close to testing old daily res. So our hype did not break out yesterday. We were looking for hype to break out yesterday. We did not want to see it break under this. We had a measured move of what? June's high. Yesterday during the stream. We said if we break down below this trend line, we could see a test of June's low, June's high, this white line. It broke down and then you got your measured move. So this could be support on hype. If you look at it on the 4-hour chart, it's been consolidating for some time here. You're under the 50 on the 4-hour. So you have to be very cautious. You're above the 50 on the 8 hours, so I still like it to the upside. So here's the thing. If you lose the 40, right? If you lose the 40, then you're potentially going to have more bearish momentum. So as long as you're under it, I think it's okay. We've seen this happen before, but sellers are going to be shorting resistance because they're looking for this to break down. You broke down out of this. They want to see more downside continuation. There's another potential support right under it, though. I'm not really seeing volume confirm the breakdown. Are you? Not here. I'm not looking at the cumulative volume delta on this. I'm looking at volume by time. Typically, I want to see on a breakdown, I want to see an increase in volume. We did get a slight increase in volume on the breakdown candle, but then the same amount of volume here. Oh, it does look like the sellers are in control of this near term. You could buy the June high or 4-hour support if you want to be a buyer. If you think that the sellers are done. If you don't think the sellers are done, the best short trade would be up at resistance, 46.72. You got, that's not going to, this isn't today's VWAP. Let's see where today's volume weighted average price is. Okay, so we're currently testing it. I don't love this structure, but it's still more bullish than bearish. It's just not going anywhere. It's been being really choppy lately. I mean, these daily candles ranges here are consistent with an uptrend. Very consistent with an uptrend. I would expect support to come in pretty damn soon, though, for the bull flag to play out. Right? That's a clear bull flag. It's going to be too close probably to give you a good flag there. So, I mean, you got a bull flag going on here. You don't want to see that break down. Or, since it's an obvious pattern that everybody can see, maybe if you do get the breakdown, wait to see if it's a trap, right? Maybe wait for this to do something like this and close, and then see if the next candle does something like this, right? If it does, you could be a buyer here on a retest just to see if it does something like that. If you get back in this range, then these sellers are going to be stuck. I mean, you got to get it back above the candle that breaks down, but you see what I'm saying? So you could see a longer term breakout, because the flag pattern is not broken down yet. And we know that retail loses a lot, especially if they're pattern traders, because they can't be patient enough to wait to see if it's an actual breakdown or not. If it breaks down and then the very next candle 4-hour opens and gives you continuation lower, meaning printing lower lows, then it's probably not a trap. It's probably a legit breakdown. That's why we're not shorting GLD yet. GLD looks good for us, and we have a downside target of May's low, but we must wait for the breakdown first. And then we got to see if that's just a trap or not. We get a breakdown and downside continuation. This pattern gives you a measured move to May's low at the very minimum. So that means you could go out to January and buy a 292 strike put or a 293 strike put. But you got to wait for the breakdown to set up. It's got to break down, and then it's got to test resistance, and you need to see that resistance hold. And I would like to see that resistance hold on higher volume. Confirm that people are selling it at the breakdown. Confirm to us that a lot of traders are looking at the same thing. You need more traders looking at the same thing in order for these patterns and techniques to play themselves out, in a sense. But yeah, I mean, it could find support here. So longer term pattern. See, that's May's low on a monthly candle, but the 4-hour chart gives you lower lows, but those lows came in pre and post market, therefore they're not actual lows. So if you put this on a line chart, it's not going to line up so good. Let's look at it. So here's what we got on the line chart. Okay, so what we need to see is we need to see this black line give us a clear breakdown. And we want to see the midpoint of it be within that triangle, like just a clear move lower. Like that. And then a close. I need to use my pen for situations like this. I keep forgetting. I can't erase it with the pen, but close down in there, and then we can look for the retest of resistance, and then we want to see it roll over. And in that scenario, we can come down there and buy that 293 or 294 strike put in anticipation of this larger measured move taking place. The GLD isn't a day trade, but it could be a longer term trade that pays. And it would be consistent with people taking profits on gold and moving their money into risk assets. But that's only if risk assets maintain their bullish posture, which they are. VIX gap filling and then rolling back over is literally really good stuff. So Pepsi's pulling back pretty hard. I need to exit this position while we're in the money. I'm gonna close that bad boy out. There we go. Money in the bank. Obviously it can keep going, but I'm not the kind of guy that is going to allow a trade to turn back around on me. I don't think you're going to see it turn back around. I think this is really good volatility, really good momentum. You got a two-leg move there. So that's about, you could get a much bigger move, right? Tomorrow, by this time next week, by Thursday next week, this thing could be trading up at 150. I don't know that you're going to get continuation from it, but it looks really good. A lot of stops being triggered. I would say the lows are in on Pepsi for 2025, guys. If you look at this chart on a yearly time frame, you've never had 3 years in a row of bearish pressure. There's 2, there's 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 3. So the lows could be in here. I mean, you're almost above the midpoint there of the yearly range, which is good. It's what we want. Where's our year-to-date chart here? Let's get rid of this. What is that? What is that even? What even is that? All right, we're gonna fib the yearly range just to see where that midpoint is. Ooh, so close. So close. Another reason taking profits is a good idea if you're in the Pepsi trade. That could be a big resistance zone. Might blast right through it today, but it could stall it out also. We'll see what it does. We'll see how it reacts today. Wow, gotta get on the tasty trade stuff. Yeah, it's not bad. All right, going back in over here. I didn't see a setup over here. Bitcoin's holding support. Bohm's already ran so hard. Let's see if we... Wow. That's May's high, way up there, huh? Yeah, I don't know if you'll get that. It's Book of Meme. Bonk and Penguin refusing to roll over here. They're very bullish, right? It's normal that they're refusing to roll over. They're very bullish. Maybe hype. Man, I wish it... I don't know. I'm starting to want to wait for that breakdown and then buy it if it gets back up in the range. But I don't know that it'll do that. That's the problem. We can't see into the future, so we don't know if it will break down and put in a bear trap. It seems likely, don't it? It seems very likely that it would do something like that. I mean, let's be real. Price does that kind of stuff all of the time. LPT looks more structured, like it wants to go higher. Pendle looks like it wants to go higher. Pendle is contesting with a daily supply zone, but I mean, if it's not a large time frame level, I think you'll break through it as long as Bitcoin dominance continues to roll over. There's an old monthly level there, but I can't imagine that would have any weight on price, especially since it's last year's monthly candle. It's quarterly supply. That will have an impact. It's a quarterly supply level, so people are looking at it, right? Definitely looking at it. So if we could break through that, we could probably see a big run up on Pendle. If it could get bullish continuation above it. Let's see if people are shorting it though. We can see. They are today. They are today. The point of control is setting just above that quarterly level. Yesterday it was below. Today it's above, or just above. You're going to have to deal with that supply also. It could be resistance, and I hate buying something that's right into resistance. I might give this a chance to like break out and see if it'll retest it for a support test, and then maybe be a buyer. I see a 15-minute support. Jasmine isn't anything. It's trading at the value area high. SPX ripping. Bitcoin dominance looks like it's wanting to bounce here. So some of these might lose some strength if that happens. Ooh, look at XRP. Point of control up there. People be shorting XRP. I don't like the short when this happens. I think it's probably safer when you get the point of control up there than it is if the point of control is, say, down here and you just get a volume spike up there. Because when it's just a volume spike, then that could fuel more upside. But since the point of control is up there, you might be able to take a short on XRP. Remember, if Bitcoin, if that dominance chart rolls back over, this can go higher. It has a lot of bullish momentum today. I like the volume by time also kind of confirming the breakdown here, or the rollover at least. Notice where you find resistance on this candle, and then you get continuation lower. So we know there was a lot of selling taking place up here. You got volume by time and the point of control up here. So in theory, this should act as resistance. For the short, I would only probably look for the midpoint, $31.14 or $33.14. That would be my short profit target, my first profit target. I just got stopped out of bonk. I'm glad I took profits on that trade. Its structure is more bullish than Pingu. Bonk's 30-minute 100 exponential is way down here, whereas Pingu, it's up here. That doesn't mean that will hold as resistance. It's just a better structure for shorting. So I'm going to leave Bonk alone. Probably forever. I'm just kidding. Resistance is up here, and you have the intraday volume weighted average price could act as resistance. Also point of control here, so a lot of people are taking positions here. I don't like the volume for the short. Let's see what we got on a smaller time frame. Oh. So if you get big moves like this on big volume, I wouldn't short it. But as of right now, the top, that volume could mark a top, right? It's not a day top, but a near-term top. Because this stopped out quite a lot of people. It goes all the way back to 5:30 this morning. This is your open, though. New York session open. I'm not liking that it doesn't want to roll away. Notice how you're putting in heavy volume up here to like kind of show you a top, but price isn't rolling away from it. It's not trading away from the top. It's trading back up to the top. So maybe it wants to give it one more spike. I don't know. Let's watch it for a second, because this might be a short setup. We still look okay on Pingu. Pingu is probably still a short setup as well. I would probably do that one instead. It doesn't mean it'll work, guys. Remember, I can't see into the future. So make sure you're managing your risk. But this looks more toppy to me than with the volume and how price rolled away from the top, right? It did for a few minutes, but then it got a little bit away, a distance away. That's different to what Bonk is doing. So if you want to short Bonk or Penguin, I think you're better off with Penguin. This VWAP right here is the weekly. I don't typically watch that, but someone asked me the other day why I don't. No reason, really. I put the monthly up there. So the blue line is your monthly VWAP, white is your intraday, and then the green is your week. So intraday VWAP currently underpriced. Weekly VWAP right here. You got what looks like an almost a bearish engulfing 2 hour, but it didn't close below the low. Yeah, I think this would probably be the best one to short. Point of control also here. There's a lot of confluence for resistance to come in here. Watch your volume. You want to see big spikes and big candles to the downside. If you start seeing spikes on the up candles, then you're probably going to get stopped out. Where did bonk go? Give me bonk, give me bonk. Yeah, see this? It's like a bull flag. Volume is big too. It's just like bouncy. Does not want to go up. I mean, it does not want to go down. It like refuses to go down. 4 hour res is daily res. Closed under the intraday VWAP on a big volume spike. This 5-minute candle is not going away though. Not yet. And I don't trust that. Pingu is also back to positive on the day. I don't like that either. So that's what we're currently in contention with here on Pingu, your daily open. I like that. Yeah, I think this one, I think we have a better, I think this one just has a better structure for downside. I think it's going to matter if we get Bitcoin strength and Bitcoin dominant strength. Like if we can keep this going here on dominance, then maybe it'll roll over and give us what we're looking for. Bonk is just, be careful. This thing moves so fast. And it literally chopped and destroyed people yesterday. Absolutely demolished them. So many people trying to short this thing yesterday. Got wrecked the London session. That's an aggressive repricing back to the upside. Where's 40% of the volume at? Let's see what that looks like. We'll see 50 first. $40's gonna be tighter. Ooh, it's right there. Oh, it's such a dangerous short. It's so dangerous because you know momentum scalpers are trying to scalp this back to the upside, because when the shorts got their backs against the wall like that, the sky's the limit. All right, I'll throw on a very, very, very small piece, like very, very small. Let's see if we get the spike on it real fast. Looks like it's trying to spike right now. Yeah, this is the garbage it did yesterday. It goes up to a level that people are interested in shorting, they start shorting, and then it just goes sideways forever. Gave them a couple moves lower and then rip. I'm always cautious because that's an aggressive repricing. At two areas that have been acting as support. It didn't really do anything when we repriced lower here. It tagged it as resistance and blasted right back through it to the upside, but there's a lot more volume trading right now. A lot more garbage to suss out. So 50% of today's volume is traded from 38.41 down to 37.17. Half of all volume traded was in that range. So in theory, it should, if it spikes hard, it should just continue, right, to the upside. Let's see how it reacts if it gives us a higher wick right here. I could see the SPY come down to 600 and put in an inverse head and shoulders for the next leg up. An inverse head and shoulders, huh? I mean, it could definitely do that, but it's currently moving up, right? It's not moving down. I don't really see an inverse head and shoulders on it yet. On the cash market, I see a range. I don't see an inverse head and shoulders. I guess it could, in theory, roll over from 62 down to 600 and do all that work. I mean, the VIX did what it was trying to. There it goes. So let's take a small position on. Oh, it's ripping fast here. We're going to give it a second, see if it wants to bounce. Taking a position after it's already moved like that is very dangerous. Not a big move, but it doesn't have to move that much for it to be a pretty sizable move. Like, this thing's moving. Just watch the percentage of the day on it. On your chart, look how much it's moving. Like 2.28%, and you get one tick and it goes up to 2.35%. So those moves, even though they look very small, they're actually quite large. We want to see it roll over. We don't want to see it just slowly chop sideways and start to head back up. Otherwise, this is just looking to run stops. I don't like a choppy market. I mean, that's about as close probably as one would or could hope to get. So I'm going to put a sell in right here and then just put a stop right above that wick. So I go out if it wicks up there. Because I don't want to get caught with a 1 minute death candle. I don't know, what would that be about? Let's go. 38,161. 38,161. Come on, let's get a move and let's get some volume to help push it. On volume, Bitcoin dominance moving back to the upside. It's currently setting at 0.71% red. In the 5-minute chart, that's going to look like a nothing burger move right there. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 18 minutes. It's been chopping sideways right here in a very tight range. Hate that. Same thing here on Penguin. When these things are super bullish, the best trades are to look for longs. Bohm is still up 6% on the day. Fartcoin is up 5.7% on the day. The Fartcoin is currently moving up. Not a real deep correction there, but I guess it was good enough, wasn't it? 4 30-minute candles lower. Would have been a difficult buy. And Bitcoin still pushing higher. And that's your 930 right there, so that looks okay. VIX is at 1708. I mean, we filled that gap yesterday. We didn't fill it, but we got a midpoint fill. That's good enough. Clearly, the market thought that was good enough. And that sucks, man. Looking at that Fartcoin 4-hour chart just makes me want to puke. Trump said he won't fire Powell. Right. He said he won't right after he said he wants to. Him saying he wants to is what caused the market volatility. That's what caused me to get stopped out. And then he backed up what he said. No, I guess he could stay. And then boom, Fartcoin rips 20% on the day. You can't do anything about it. It is what it is. That's why we take profits, because we cannot predict what intraday chaos will do. Jasmine is... looking pretty good on the day. Trying to break out. I mean, it looks really bullish. All of them look bullish on the daily except Hype, but it may be trying to hold support. This did rip. When Fartcoin wasn't, this was ripping. And we did catch some of that, but not all of it. Technically, resistance is all the way up here at 46.96. Bonk pushing back up. See, yeah, I will not try this again if it hits my stop. Just because it's not rolling over. It should be rolling over, guys. The bearish moves happen faster than the bullish moves, right? Because of panic selling that just causes people to exit. That's not what we're seeing yet. So people are still buying Bonk. They still think it's got room to go to the upside, and it can. There's nothing to stop it, really. Really nothing to stop it. Made a fresh year. I mean, this just looks like a pullback day. And that is a very momentous daily we got yesterday. It's not the biggest volume we've ever seen in this asset either. So, yeah. Maybe if it was the biggest volume we've ever seen, then maybe it would work out to the downside. This thing can still rip. We're working on 25 minutes here. Sideways. What's up, Brian? Bonk. Yeah. Anything to be done or had on Doge? Probably not today. It looks like it's pulling back today. It's still structured bullish. Like, you're nowhere near the 100. So obviously the trend is very near term. The last 3 days have been very bullish. Here's your last 3 days. Boom, boom, and then a correction today. So, I mean, it would be a long at support or around the low of day. Unfortunately, it's nowhere near the low of day. This is your low of day. You got an intraday support setting at 21216. Yeah, it looks like it's losing bullish momentum on the near term. If it can hold this last close here, maybe. I mean, I don't know where you're going to put your stop, and I don't even know. Let's see what our near-term target would be. For that, we have to go back out to the daily and pull up the average true range. Because we need to see what's even possible. Oh, we're getting 1180. 12, we'll just call it 1280. So 1280. Oh yeah, there's room. Okay, so yeah, that would be your upside target, but shy of that, 22,412. If it holds support, you could rip up to here, and that would be within a standard deviation. So your upside target isn't super huge. Downside target would be exactly the same. You're right in the middle of the range, right? You're barely positive on the day. So you could buy this and put your stop here. But if you close a 5-minute candle under that, then you're gonna have to wait, right? But if you're not closing 5 minutes under that, then maybe the buyers will step in. if they see that support is holding. You got a support test here from this over here, right? And you got a bullish bounce, but then that bounce ran out of steam. So now you need to see it hold here. It's at the open of the day, so I mean it's an objective level for people to be buying. That's your day open right there. So I don't know if you'll make money on it, but that's you can either buy it here or sell it here, and these are your targets. But make sure your take profit isn't all the way down there. Make sure you set it. You know what I mean? Make sure you set it within range, within limits. You're looking to risk 1 to make 2 with a quarter of a position, half of a position size, or whatever. Or a full position. Whatever you want to do. It's your money. Manage it how you see fit. But that would be the trade. And it is within reason that it gets up there. I mean, it wouldn't be like a crazy, you would need a big crazy bullish move. No, it could get up there easily. It's within the standard deviation. Penguin is bouncing. Penguin is bouncing. So it's a good thing I took my profits on that trade. Otherwise, I would be scratching my head right now. Since Penguin is bouncing, that bonk is likely going to stop people out. I mean, at this point, it hasn't rolled over yet. And it's even a higher close. Yeah, you even got a higher close there. The buyers are they're about to, yeah. So it looks like it wants to test the daily open again. Shorting bullish markets. Not great. Doge is also a meme token, but people own it. Where is it? Very bearish on the year. It's had just basically a 1 standard deviation breakout here. On the month. Still trading inside a maze range also. Like XRP looking good. I haven't heard anybody ask for Litecoin in so long. What is it doing? Litecoin might be a short at the yearly opening range. On the first tag of it. It's not going to be the first tag of it. We tagged it already. Damn it. So never mind, it's not the first tag. This would have been the first tag. That short took many days to play out, but ultimately it did play out. Right there. Perfect retest of it and a perfect reaction from it. And then if you held it for about a week or two, you got continuation. So I don't know if I would take the short on it again because of that. But we'll see. I mean, I'll keep it on watch. I'll put it on watch because it's going to be something to watch at least, right? We don't have to react to it, but we can watch it. You're in the daily res on Litecoin now. So let's go over here. Let me just do this. Let's go see what we got. Everything's going to be so extended. See, something like, let me get the year-to-date chart. Something like this might be, but also something like this that hasn't broken out yet stands a chance to break out. But if they're weaker relative to other cryptos, then clearly not as many people like them, right? Compound. There's Doge. Dot. Polkadot looks bullish. It's structured bullish and it's ripping. Go back to Compound. Compound looks like it's being soaked up. You just had a recent breakout on it though. That failed. Maybe it goes this time. Chili's also looking like it wants to go. Damn, dude, this thing has no liquidity. Nobody's trading bad anymore. Balancer, nobody's trading this anymore either. Very thin liquidity. These things can rip. It could just be the exchange that I'm looking at. It's Coinbase, so maybe it has more liquidity on other exchanges. They're all structured bullish. Atom is actually ripping right now. Get off me. There's nothing we can do with it now, but damn it, we should have. All right, so Bonk finally put in a 5-minute down candle, but I don't know if that's gonna last. We'll come back over here. Where is it? There it is. We're finally getting a move lower here on Bonk. Finally. And that's kind of what we wanted to see, right? I did not get stopped out. Very, very close, though. It was so close. Look at how close it was. Holy shit, was that close. That wick right there almost got me, dude. Oh my gosh. Let's see what it does. It doesn't mean it won't come back and get me. But it almost got me. Ay, ay, ay. Alright, we'll go back over to the purple list. Where were we? Chili's, right? I'm going to look at the 30-minute and the daily time frame on all these. Just to see if we can find something. Another thing to trade here. I don't like these big ass moves, but man, if it could get going, holy crap. Is that even a big move? Let's see what that would be. It's nothing. It's not even a big mover. All the way up there would only be 6%. So this is a slow moving crypto. It would be a lot easier to manage risk on something like this. I guess as long as it's holding support. Oh shit, 4-hour support's way down there. Alright. If you don't close an hourly candle under 50.06, you could potentially be a buyer on Compound. Stop right under here. I mean, the wider you get your stop, the better off you're going to be in the long term. But your position size just has to be smaller. I have no problem with wide stops and smaller positions. Because in the long run, if you get a massive rally out of these, like bigger than we've already gotten on a lot of them, you're going to be positioned perfectly to you know, capitalize on that. We already looked at Doge, and we already looked at Dot, right? Polka Dot. These are old schools no one talks about anymore. Multiverse. Jasmine. Jasmine, I don't know what it is, but it's weak, right? It's been weak all year, but it can rip. What is that? Let's just see what would we get if we got to run above May's high. 25%. That ain't a slouch. But I can't buy the high of day. We have this on watch. I'll keep it on watch. I'm not going to do anything with it today. I want to see Bonk and Pingu pay out again. Well, Bonk's already paid out once today. Let's see if it pays out again. Link. Chain link. Man, I remember when this thing was hot. Look at this. Damn, I remember that. Super hot. Not so much anymore, is it? What are these? Yeah, it's not a big mover. Luna, where have you been? Where have you been? Trying to rally. Oh, how's that working out for you? Oh, it's not? Oh, okay. Very bearish. I mean, you just put in a fresh yearly low not too long ago. Yeah, looks like people have really put a hurting on the Lunas. Shiba Inu, what are you doing? Not much. Another 25% potential move on it if it was to rip. SNX. Also very weak. ADA. Old school, but not doing nothing. ADA's a mover. If it starts moving, it could be a mover. It looks okay. It looks like it's catching support on those lows. We'll see what it does. TRX is ripping right as we speak. You bastard. Why didn't you tell us you were going to rip? This thing's up on the year. This thing is up on the year. And it is rocking and rolling. Why is this up on the year? Why do people like the Tron? There's really nothing for us to look for except old highs, and oh my gosh, that's not as big of a move as it looks like though. So this is another slow mover. That's, to be fair, it's a 42% move, but damn. Right before Trump came to office, this thing had a huge move. This looks like a longer term cup and handle. It's not, I mean, this would have been your handle here, right? All right. Not really did anything off of it, but you're starting to see it go now. So watch support on TRX. Maybe it pulls into a support. It's up on the year. That tells me something right there. Just the fact that it's up on the year. People think this thing has value, and right now the market says that that value is 31 cents a piece. So I'm gonna maybe put this on the watch list, but for a support check, Uniswap, ugly and not moving. This is actually a short, probably. Okay, well, we could probably short Uniswap. It's right now coming into resistance as well. Now that's your old support zone. Let's see if it acts as resistance. Get away from bonk. Maybe this will work out for us. I don't like the way that it, boom, you know what I mean? But we'll see what it does. Yeah, I don't like those hourly wicks. Ugh. I like the lower closes, but I don't like that you're getting this right here. Let me see. Uni. $97 million. It's got a high funding rate, and the funding rate is paying shorts. My favorite con. So there's what we're watching. Here's the daily open. See how you got those wicks after getting to negative on the day? Usually not a great sign. But this will be something to watch all day. Yeah, I like it lower. Let us... It's up on the month, huge, right? Whew. Yeah, it's up on the month, so you're seeing that pressure come in here today. On weeks it says it's got 97 million traded on 24-hour volume. So there's a lot of people trading this. It isn't a big mover. Just to get back down to the lows of day is a 3% move. It could be a big mover, but yeah, it can move. So basically you just liquidated the lows and bounced. You liquidated Monday's low and bounced. Maybe it puts in a lower bounce here. Very thin liquidity. That looks better. It's still thin though. I don't like the cumulative volume delta, but it's not making higher highs, so that's kind of a good sign. This might not be a mover. I'll throw a short limit on it, just because the structure is a little bit more bearish, right? Let me go back over here. $9. I'm gonna throw a limit sell out at $9. $9. At 9 tethers, I will take it and I will sell it. All right, limits up. Shorted USD JPY intraday res for a quick scalp at 9 might take partials now. I completely forgot about that. I am going to be so pissed. It really isn't gone anywhere yet, has it? Yeah, the reason it's not rolling over after yesterday is because Trump backed off what he said. So this would have been yen strength causing this move lower, as well as the dollar getting massively beat up. Maybe it was the dollar weakness that really caused it. What's the dollar doing today? I haven't even looked at the dollar. The dollar's up today. Bartcoin is making fresh daily highs, you piece of garbage. Oh, it burns my ass, dude. Chafes my hind end. As I bought right down here yesterday. Gosh. Oh, man, I missed 27%. Thanks a lot, Trump. I'm glad I didn't vote for you. Keep your mouth shut, dude. We're trying to work here. Damn it. What's wrong with you? Constantly wicking me out of my positions, bro. Yeah. Does this all look like it's gonna break out? It's already broken out. It's bearish on the year, so it's got some work to do. Looks good. The structure is bullish, except for the yearly range. Your yearly range is bearish, right? You're down on the year, but you're in corrective. You're in a corrective phase, so it's already starting to move. It's trading inside of May's range. We need to make a fresh monthly high to be a breakout. It's trying to. You're into weekly res. However, I wouldn't want to short it. I would be looking more along the lines of buying the pullbacks. You got a perfect opportunity today. I don't know what time it was, but that's clearly a perfect midpoint check. Literally would have been where we would have bought it. And it was done at 2300 hours. So 3 hours after the new day open. Look at that. It would have been as simple as 1, 2, 3. Buy the midpoint, check. Done. Yeah, that was the trade. It's easier to spot it in hindsight, but just you're doing that for all of these, right? Always watching the daily mids. Always. So you lost this one. So you would have lost that trade. Buying the midday point on the hype, you would have lost, right? You don't win them all. But on Sol, it worked. Boop. And you're getting upside continuation. There's nothing to do with it today because it's already moving. But yeah, the structure looks good on it. It looks real good. It's perfect, actually. Double top right here, liquidated, got upside continuation, came back in for a midpoint check. The buyers stuffed in right there, and up she went. So, I mean, you can't get any more perfect than that when it comes to technical analysis as far as looking for buying opportunities. I wasn't paying attention to Sol. I was looking at Fartcoin up 20% and puking my guts out. No, I'm kidding. I wasn't that tore up about it, but it does suck. It really does suck. GLD bouncing, so the short is not yet. SPX rallying. Trump just causing havoc, giving people buying opportunities. It just happened way too fast. 600 and then an inverse head and shoulders. Yeah, I don't know if you're going to get a pullback that far. You could, but probably not this year. Probably not this year. What else? Does BTC look more like accumulation? Yes. Yes, it does. The VIX is under the yearly opening range. We like that, right? We really, really, really like that. So as long as the VIX stays under the yearly opening range and Bitcoin isn't putting in 10% down days, it's accumulation. Remember, Bitcoin in the past, before, let's say Bitcoin pre-ETF, right? Before we had ETFs on Bitcoin, whenever we would get big bullish breakouts, we could see 30 and 40% corrections in a bullish trend, right? As long as we're not seeing stuff like that, I would call this accumulation. Absolutely. You start throwing in 8 and 10% down days back to back to back, that's not accumulation. Something else is happening. But as long as your pullbacks are within 3 to 4%, that's perfectly within Bitcoin's risk standards. Like a 3%, 4% down day is nothing really. We always, because our up days on Bitcoin are what? Like anywhere between 1.5 to 3% on a standard normal slow up day. A big up day is like 4%. So a 4% down day wouldn't be like a big down day, but it would be a medium-sized down day. Those are okay. 4% corrections are okay. It's the big corrections that we don't want to see. Like this day here, I don't love that, but it's probably not going to be the top. Like it's a 3% move from low to high. It's not a huge move. It just looks huge because the candles haven't been very big. And then what did you get to the downside here? This candle's large in comparison to this candle, and this candle. 3.5%. That's completely in line with normal volatility. Yes. As of right now, this looks more of like an accumulation phase than a distribution phase. A distribution phase is like a 3-drive topping formation. Right? Like something like this. That's more like an accumulation phase. I mean, distribution, sorry. And an absolute, that's why we were buyers down here, because we put in the 3-drive bottoming formation. Here's a low. And then how many weeks went by before we made a fresh yearly low? And it was very, very minimalistic. You did not get downside continuation. You made the low, and then the next day opened, had a lower print, and then boom, up it went, right back into the range. And then here was your final and your last and final move lower. That's accumulation. Your lows are insignificant. Same goes for the upside. When the highs start becoming insignificant, that's more of a topping formation. You're not seeing that. We just broke out, had an upside move. This is just a standard pullback for now. Obviously, you can short it if you want to, but I mean, it's not a top formation. Can it roll over? Yes, it can. Clearly. It happens all the time. But I would not call this the top. Because we're just now starting to this is just getting started, guys. We're in week 2 of the breakout. Week 2. I'm not saying you're going to see something like this, but that's typically what we look for in a breakout, right? Here's a breakout. This would be week 1. This would be week 2. This is what we would be expecting out of week 3. Not that big of a move, but the similar formation. This is what you're in right now. Like, yeah. Let's just pretend this is a breakout, right? It isn't, but let's pretend it is. This is what you're looking at currently. You're looking at the same exact structure. So that's what we want to see next week. And then the week after. And then the week after, right? That's what we want to see. Will we see that? I doubt it, because you've got ETFs that are in the game now. So we're not seeing that rapid FOMO like we used to, because back in the day, Bitcoin had a much smaller float. It was much easier to move it around than it is now. Now there's a ton more daily volumes. Daily volumes have been doing nothing but going up. More and more traders are jumping in the game. My channel is not really, I'm not seeing like a huge exponential growth like we did back in 2020 when we had that breakout rally. Like anybody's channel was getting massive stuff. So it's not like that now, because it's just far easier to invest in Bitcoin now. All you gotta do is open up a trading account and you can buy Bitcoin volatility by just participating in one of the 10 ETFs that are out there now. So that in itself is going to slow Bitcoin's price action down. People don't like to hear that, but it's true. The more Bitcoin gets adopted, the smaller the moves will get. Your intraday moves on Bitcoin will be so small in the future. Like say Bitcoin, everything works out for Bitcoin 5-10 years from now. Like quantum computing is still ways off, right? And Bitcoin is still safe and good. You'll probably see 0.25% moves on a normal trading day. It'll get slower. It'll start to move like gold. The bigger the market cap gets, the slower the asset will move. So the days of seeing 20 and 30% on Bitcoin are probably gone. Like a 40%, 35% correction in one day. Those days are gone, in my opinion. If we see a day like that, then it's going to be, oh man, it'll be bad. It'll be really bad. I mean, let's just look at what a 30% down day would look like. Oh, there's 28 off of the screen. So that would be an ugly candle. And that's 27%. Those days are gone, I think. Because of the ETFs, because of all the billions and billions of dollars tied up in Bitcoin now. People wanted adoption, and to be fair, we got it. And Bitcoin's trading at a respectable $119,000. Oh my gosh. I remember Bitcoin trading at $3,000. $119,000. Just back when I was like $40,000. That's a long ways away, man. Look how long it's taken us to get up here. Those days are gone, in my opinion. Now, like I said, if something tragic happens, the code gets broken or whatever, quantum computing is a reality. That will be a travesty for Bitcoin. Hi, can you check Riot? Yes. So, Bonk rolled over. Let's just go look at that real fast, and then I will look at Riot for you, just so people can see that, because we shorted it again. It's working. It did roll over, so it is working. This is the low of day. So Mida should have taken profits, had a low a day. And then the other one we're in is Pingu. I did not get filled yet on the uni. Might have missed the uni trade. Pingu is slowly starting to roll over. If Bonk were to get like a sizable move to the downside, then I assume Penguin would do. I don't know that it will. I assume it will. But assuming is, you know what they say about that. All right. Riot. Woohoo! Damn. So Bitcoin's only up 0.1% today. Riot is up big today. So something else is going on here. This isn't based off of Bitcoin. This is based off of Riot news. What is Riot's news today? U.S. House of Representatives cleared a procedural hurdle for several cryptocurrency bills. That's your news. This is what's up. Look at coin. It's up 2.8%. Ooh, that's pretty. Look at that. That's what's going on here. As Bitcoin's down today. It's just trying to get up, right? So that's all Riot there. Here's coin. It's up nicely. Oh, Riot looks good today. Yeah, it looks good. I mean, it's rallying with Bitcoin. You're up on the year. It's looking good. This is what we would expect it to do. If Bitcoin rallies, we expect these to rally as well. I don't like that you're nowhere near highs, and Bitcoin is. So something's up with that. This is clearly lagging Bitcoin's strength. So what that means is people are not as hot on Riot as they used to be, right? Because this is 2020. This is when everybody's YouTube channel grew. You could get 3,000 subscribers in a week if you just said the word Bitcoin. Boom. Well, I didn't, but you get what I'm saying, right? There was so much interest out there. This thing exploded in value. Well, Bitcoin's hit all-time highs 3 times this year? 2 times this year. Bitcoin has made all-time highs. Riot hasn't even made fresh 2024 highs yet. Think about that. You haven't broken out. Yeah, I meant 2025 highs are still here. You haven't even made one fresh yearly high yet, let alone all-time highs. So that tells me that there's not as much interest in Riot anymore. So all the people that used to buy Riot platforms for Bitcoin volatility, they capitalized, or they rotated that capital out of Riot into the Bitcoin ETFs, right? That's why you're seeing Riot not really move. It's getting a nice move today, and it may eventually, if it gets the same amount of interest in it that it used to have. But it's going to be harder to do because there are so many different ways to trade Bitcoin today. There's 10 ETFs and there's 3 MicroStrategy products. On top of that, you got Mara, CleanSpark. You got other Bitcoin mining companies. So people just aren't as interested in these things anymore as they used to be. This is why you're not seeing outsized returns anymore. So if you're owning this in anticipation that you're going to see $70 and $80 share prices again on Riot, I think those days are gone. I really do, because of the ETFs. Now, that's just my opinion, and I can be wrong. I have been wrong many, many times. Many times. And I hope I am, for your sake, if you own Riot, because I want you to get rich. So I hope it goes to $1 million a share for you. But the chances of that happening are not good. So maybe when you get a nice move, as long as you don't own Riot at say $50 a share, right? Then hopefully if you get a nice spike, I would exit it. I would take all my money out of Riot. Because obviously other people have as well. I mean, this thing's been bouncing between $6 and $12 for a long time. Years. And I'm just counting the all-time high that Bitcoin made in 2025. I'm not counting the one that was made in 2024. Yeah, Riot, people are out of it. They're done with it. But it could get, it's a low float stock, so it could get ripping again. It just needs like some really good news and a lot of momentum traders jumping on it. I don't think it has a low float anymore like it used to. We can go look at the float. Oh, I had a brain fart. What's the website I'm looking for? Finviz. Let's go see what their float is. 350 million. So it's not a low float anymore. Sorry. Yeah, this used to be a low float. Low float just means less than 10 million shares outstanding. It's got a 330 million float. You need under 10. Under 10 to get those big penny stock gains. So this may never see those kind of prices again. So be very careful if you own Riot. And if you own it at a very, very expensive price, then damn, that sucks. Hopefully you don't. Hopefully you were able to buy it at monthly support. $7. I mean, it's old resistance here, and it acted as support over here. It's a long-term level. It's like more of an old school, like 10-year-old YouTube channel teaching you how to draw support and resistance levels. Something like that. Or if you just waited for the liquidation break, you could have liquidated that low right there and then bought it. Unfortunately, people never buy stuff when they're supposed to. They never do. They always wait until everything is just ripping. And that's literally the wrong time to do it. It's like so the wrong time. You need to be a buyer when nobody else is buying it. That's why we bought Pepsi when we bought it, right? But yeah, I mean, and the same goes for Mara as well. Same goes for CleanSpark. I mean, these companies are going to be priced based on money they're making. Are they making money? That's another question you have to ask yourself. Are these people making money? Well, their income is negative $398 million. So the answer to that question is maybe. I think at one point in time they were negative $500 million. So it does look like they are making money. I mean, they make $458 million in sales. So if this number is going up, then Riot's stock price will go up. But it's still a very sizable negative number. Their market cap is $4.7 billion. They need to get this number in the positive. And as long as they're doing that, so just watch this number. If you're going to hold Mara shares and Riot shares for a long time, just watch this number month over month and see if it's changing. If it's going up in the positive direction. So this number would be getting smaller, right? Negative 298 million. That means they made 100 million. That's what you want to see. You want to see this number reversing. Then it'll be okay to own it. But as long as it's not making money, I wouldn't own it for Bitcoin alone. There are too many other ways to invest in Bitcoin. but it looks good today. Mara's not really getting a huge sympathy bid off of that news, but it's up. What about Tesla? Did anybody catch the Tesla long yesterday? We did right at the beginning of the stream. Said to be a buyer as long as you're above 312.67. Did anybody make money on Tesla? That's a $20 move almost. Boom. Looking good. Still in the confines of this overall triangle. So we're still waiting for it to break out of this structure. But if it could do that, there's a bigger move in play. Potentially. Like everything in trading, everything works, just not all the time. All right. Any other questions? We're going to wrap it up. The Penguin trade's working. The other trade's working. I didn't get filled on the uni. So we're going to get rid of this. We'll get rid of that. We made $400 on Bonk earlier this morning. It's working out again here, and then we're up on 261 on Pingu. We closed the Pepsi trade out. It was doing really good, so we closed that one out. D-Pro is also up very nicely. I'll probably close that one out as well. And that's where we stand. Big move up here on D-Pro. This is kind of a smaller stock, I think. Let's check its float to see if this is based on momentum trading. Yeah, it's a low float, 5 million shares. People are trading this. Momentum scalpers are jumped on this and kind of gave it a rip. So this might not be done yet. I'm gonna keep this one for a day or so, see if it can continue. It doesn't look like the people are as interested in it today as they were yesterday. Lighter volume, heavier volume today than yesterday. Much heavier volume today. So I'm actually gonna hold this because if it can make a fresh daily high, this thing could probably rip. Shorts are trying to hammer it back down. Or maybe, just maybe, I could close what I hold, take that money and run, and then buy a couple more shares here if 615 holds. I got someone alerting me somewhere. Oh, no, that's on a different Discord channel. People didn't hang around today. They bounced. All right, let me see here. What are we going to do? So it looks like they're trying to hold support at 605 on D-Pro today. Dragonfly, the Momo scalpers. They got onto it. They heard about it. Any questions? APLD up big, he said. APLD. Apply Digital. We looked at it yesterday. Yeah, it is. I mean, July's open held a support yesterday. You're seeing it rip today. Nice. I mean, it was looking okay yesterday when we looked at it. It was closing dailies back above the 21. I always love that. That also puts you above the 50. It held at the close yesterday. It held $10 at the close. So people were jumping on it today. It looks okay. It's breaking out of a longer formation. I don't know. Let's see if the indicator shows us a pattern here. Not really. Yeah, I mean, it's got a rectangle and whatever this is. Both of the patterns it's showing are bullish. The targets, you almost hit that blue target a long time ago. So it's been a long time trading sideways to down, and then it broke out. It looks okay. If you're holding it, you can continue to hold, or depending on where your entry is and what it looks like, take profits. Can't go wrong with taking money. Good job. You got earnings coming up at the end of this month. The end of this month. Looks okay. I'd say they're probably looking at something like that. Put in a bear trap right there. Did the China ETFs also did that, didn't it? Yeah. Boom. I missed that one, but it's a slow mover, so I'm not really concerned about missing it, but we were paying attention to it when it was testing the daily 21. There for 2 days, it kind of gave us a fake out move. Thursday, Friday, we were looking at it here. That's the 4th of July week. We looked at it on Sunday for the members only live stream. We were watching to see if if it was going to go back up and close above. It did right here. So we would have got stopped out on this day. But this, I mean, look at that. Puts in a bear trap. Then comes up here and puts in a bull trap. Then puts in another bear trap and goes. But it did stay within the trend line. So it would have been a difficult trade, man. It was playing games, but it looks okay. It looks like it could continue to rally. You made a fresh high. You took out June's high. So that's a continuation monthly candle. The month of July is a continuation candle to the upside. As long as it doesn't reverse here and get super bearish. If it can maintain its bullishness. And then you got a long-term high over there. March. It is also trying to break out of a larger time frame pattern here. I think the bullish target on this is higher though. Let's see what the total bullish target was. Roughly. So there is still a potential target of $39.50. It's $2 away. On this, I'd close it out if it starts closing dailies back in this pattern. Back in, let's say that's June. That's June. If it gets back in under this swing high, that might be problems. Longer term, $39 is achievable. It's a slow mover. Very slow mover. Oh my gosh, look at that. Just straight up all day. 37.44, knowing there is a $2 target. We could risk $1. So 36.44 would call us out. and the target would be 39, but that's stretching it. That's stretching it. That's close to max target. So let's risk $1.50, or let's risk 75 cents for $1.50. FXI. Let's go out. It's a very slow mover. December. Let's go out to December. Here, let me get you on the right monitor. This is FXI. We're going to risk 75 cents. We're trading at 37.50. So 36.75 is going to be our stop. $36. Oh, piece of crap. Give me a second. I'm marking it on the other chart. 36.75 gets us well under. That's good enough. And then we're looking for $1.50 on the upside. 37.50. We want $39. Damn. That puts us right at the max. Maybe just it's a 1-for-1, I guess. Maybe risk $1 to make $1. So I would just buy it right at the money here. We'll send that one. And it'll look like this on the chart. That's your stop. Take profit, 37.50, 38.50. So this would be upside target on FXI. All right. And I haven't got filled on it. I'll let you know if I get filled. And I'm holding spot. Adam says he's holding spot from 660 and 8. That's on Riot. So not bad. You're making money, bro. You've doubled your money on the 660. So when I double my money, I'll close it out. Maybe leave a few shares open for any upside continuation. But I would definitely take profits. I would definitely pay myself for taking the risk, as that's what I always do. I'll leave it up to you to make the decision on what to do, but because I just don't know how much more is possible on this, knowing that there are so many other ways to trade Bitcoin. And we just got the fill on the FXI. Hang on 1 second. I'm gonna look and see. To go to the daily on that. Hello. Close. Thank you. No. One day. They thought I was underdog. I did not fear not one of y'all. They thought I was underdog. I did not fear not one of y'all. I don't know why it's not showing me the day that I bought the D Pro. When I look at this over here, it's showing the shares long, but it's not showing me the actual day. It's only showing me where I bought it. I bought it 50 shares at 225. Not bad. That position's $200. Not bad. So what I'll do today is I'll watch this. If it closes under the midpoint, like if it looks like it's going to close under the midpoint of today, then I'll close these 50 shares out, and then I'll wait to see if it can hold support at a later date and look to buy back in. Or I could just do that anyways, leave the shares long from down there and add another 100 shares, or that would bring my cost basis up, way up. I don't know what I'm going to do with this yet, but this is clearly more than doubled. At 450, that's doubling your money. But I mean, it was such a small position. It wasn't, at $100, it's not really worth. But when you double it, like, okay, that's a 200x return on investment. You got to take profits, right? You just have to. You got to pay yourself when you take the risk. All right. If that's everything everybody's got to say, I guess we'll wrap this up. You guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Make sure you all trade safe, trade smart, and as always, happy trading, everybody.